Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy. We're excited you're here. And now, let's get to the show. We got Bo here with us today.
I love him.
Or Boromir.
I love
From
him.
Lord of the Rings.
From Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
He's very serious and handsome.
He's very serious?
He's very serious
Oh,
and
yes.
handsome.
Oh, so very serious. All right, you get the long ones. Here you go.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to start with this one. Oh, first of all, welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 231. I've been gone the last... What are you doing?
That's what everybody wants to see.
The butt?
The corgi butt. It's only corgis.
They want to see it float.
Like they literally have emojis of corgi. See, I got hearts. Thank you, corgi butts.
Did you guys know that a corgi butt actually floats? There's an air pocket in there. If you have a corgi and you didn't know this, fill up the bathtub just to about their chest area. Put them in there. Their little butt's gonna float, and you'll see them walk on their front 2 feet. I'm not kidding. All right.
What episode are we?
I said 231.
231. I'm here.
You're here with Boromir.
I'm here.
All right. How do I get my puppy to pee and poop on her walks? I thought dogs just knew. Some dogs
Some do.
Some dogs don't.
Kind of depends on how removed they are from their primal whatevers. And it also depends on what the person did their first 7-8 weeks of life, what their whelping box was like. There's a lot that goes into it.
How do we teach them how to go potty outside? Put them on leash. Take them out.
Sorry.
Put them on leash. Take them out to go potty. I give them about 2 to 3 minutes in one spot. But if your dog's peeing in the backyard, that's not going to translate to the front yard or outside. You usually got to get them to the area you want them to pee in. So I'd be walking them to that front, public easement, grass area. Well, hey there, pal. Give 2 to 3 minutes. When I do it, I stand like a tree. They can go left, right, forward, back, front foot, back foot. They just can't drag me across the ground, and I'm kind of like a statue, like a tree. And after 2 to 3 minutes of them kind of checking out areas, if I see their nose dig into a spot where they start kind of like nibbling grass or eating it, I kind of just guide them away from it and find them a new spot, but still in the same area that I'm standing in. After 2 to 3 minutes, I don't get a potty. I take them back to the crate. If they're young, under 16 weeks, I'll probably do about 5 to 10 minutes back in the crate. After that, take them back out for potty on leash with all your previous systems. And if they're older than 4 months, I might do 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how old they are. Rinse and repeat till they go potty for you. Sometimes you still don't get potty. You got to do a little bit of exercise. So you could do your first potty, doesn't work, back in crate. Second potty, still doesn't go. Don't go back to crate. Do a 15-minute training session. Do walking back and forth.
They need to move
dogs are like
sometimes.
Us. We need movement to get the bowels going, to get everything moving. So dogs are the same way. Try to give a little bit of exercise, see how that works.
And limit water at night. You might have said that 3 hours before bed, no water.
Say that.
Yeah, 3 hours before bed, no water. And you just got to get on a schedule. That's really the main thing. Get on a schedule, put them on leash, even if they don't go. That's why we say 2 to 3 minutes, back in crate for 15. 2 to 3 minutes to potty, back in crate for 15. 2 to 3 minutes to potty, they potty. Now they can have their designated.
They're on leash for all of it.
Yeah.
If you take them off leash to put them back in the crate and they go, woo, they're in the middle of your floor. They will go in there.
Then they get their, okay, sorry. So third rotation, they go potty outside, then they can come back inside and they can have their designated free time if that's what you're doing, whatever the routine is you're doing. But if you're still struggling with poop, that's where you got to give them a training session. You got to move them around. This is the best family dog corgi ever. How long has he been with us?
A few days, if that.
Oh, so we can't take credit for this amazing.
No, we haven't even seen his real personality come out yet. That's another 2 weeks.
Oh, so he might be a biter. We don't even know.
He might be a little nutty. We don't know.
No, he's not. This is when everybody's like, oh, I want a corgi and I live in an apartment in a high rise. This is what they want. And it's not what they get. They get the one that wants to, bite everything.
And this family probably has the biggest backyard you could ever imagine. And he just goes 10 feet of it for potties.
I love him. I love him. I love you. Oh, I do.
How to ruin your puppy in 3 short hours. No.
It's not, but I'm only here for half an hour, so it's okay. Totally fine.
Do you want to go over a question?
Yes.
Okay.
But I can't, this is kind of I can't do it with holding this adorable thing because then I can't use my hands.
Yeah,
so, Ricky, you want to take it? because I know Sparky's not going to. Plus, he's so big, he reaches across me to the next
He is pretty
person.
long.
Yeah, he's an older
Big corgi.
corgi for sure.
You do that. I'm gonna get TikTok going.
5 months. Okay. Help! We messed up.
Yeah.
Katie says, I smell like a dog now. We got a 10-week-old puppy 2 weeks ago. We loved on him immensely right away. No idea on the breed. We're waiting on a test. We think like a lab mastiff mix. He seems smart, but also doesn't even know his name very well yet. Those two things don't belong in the same sentence. Just
Mastiffs do tend to be a little more prone to separation anxiety, in my experience.
Separation anxiety, and it's not that they're dumb, it's that they don't care. So that happens.
Very aloof.
So I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. Attention span of 2 minutes, also very common for gentle giant breeds. They're not always gentle. That's just what they call a breed. Mastiffs can actually be quite mean and intense. We have a 9-year-old lab who's great listener, well-mannered, but the puppy barks at him a lot. Is that like to get to play, to get attention? I'd kind of need you here because to me, my brain goes major red flag. But then I'm like, but wait a minute.
Maybe it's attention seeking.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to get him to play and he's mad that the lab isn't playing all day with him. Maybe that's why. And so then it's more of a management issue on the human part than the dog part. Foster said that he'll sleep all night, but we're waking up every 3 hours in the night to take him out to pee. I've got teenagers. I'm exhausted having the newborn stage again. I know we need to do better, but what should I be doing? Did we totally blow this? So much, Katie, if you've got teenagers, remember your first kid. And I don't know where you got your information from. Maybe you just winged it. I would not do that here. But it's like, when did you start solids? When did you potty train and get your kid on a schedule? Did you do a sleep schedule early or later in the kid's life? Like, how did you make all of those decisions? I'm guessing you either had people around you that helped you, or you kind of found some sort of program to follow and then made it your own. You got to have the same thing for your puppy. And so the first thing you want to do is get your puppy on a schedule. Hopefully you're doing crate rotation just because that's the easiest way to do it usually for most puppies of the potty training. Pull water 3 hours before bed. If he has a play session with the lab and he seems to get a little hot, give him a piece of ice and then just don't let it go, too far. But 3 hours before bed, there's no water. And yes, unfortunately, you did not share structure, leadership, expectation, rules, and boundaries, which also help kids be quite confident and toddlers especially be quite confident, which is kind of the same, mental capacity as dogs. It makes dogs feel quite confident in what their role is as well. And yeah, you spoiled them rotten. You already know that. Can you go back? No, you cannot. But if you made a hard shift right now, the teenagers in the house, the husband, you, everybody would have to be on board or it will not work very well, or it'll work at such a snail pace you'll still be miserable, where it's like there is earned affection, two things, earned affection only. So the dog has already done a training session, even if it's 5 minutes for this type of breed mix or just the mental capacity. They've already done a 5-minute training session and 2 to 5 minutes of play, structured play where you're teaching him to drop it.
No hand play.
Yeah, not hand or
Always
chase
play.
or chasing the kids or anything or running around the house. It's structured play to teach him how to play the game. And then the dog is pretty wiped out and pooped. So that's, even if he comes up to me and we've had a nice nice training session, I'm going to give him affection. It's earned affection. I don't mean he offers you one sit and then gets a bunch of affection. That's not what I mean. Like, you've got to really do something for it, right? I don't just buy you a brand new car and, you haven't done anything to earn it. Like, you've had to show me consistency over months or years. And then we talk car, right? So I'm just putting it in kids' terms, because you've got several, and so there's just so many similarities to it. The other, way that you introduce affection is when the dog is calm. So petting is reward. And so you want to pet when your dog is in a calm state of mind. If you then start to pet your dog and they get excited, stop. They're telling you they've got extra energy to burn. They need to learn things. They need to do things. They don't need to be touched. But if you can pet them in a way, I should have shown it with the corgi, but if you can pet them in a way that keeps them calm, where they melt into you instead of getting excited. So there's no high-pitched voices. There's no in the face. Start off by going for the body, the shoulder, neck area, and just massage, or even if you're scratching them, because that can relax dogs too. It's not like this. It's like this. It's like going in to get a massage, and you want them to be like, yes, thank you, not get amped up by it. Your touch and how you touch and when you touch, it all matters immensely. And so that's where I would shift gears. If I was having like a one-on-one call with you and I got a better feel for how things are going in the house, if everybody was really committed, I'd say 2 weeks, no affection. Totally help, because it just works faster that way for dogs. It's like some people do better when they just quit smoking cold turkey and they're just like, I'm never going to smoke again, be miserable for a few days and then do great. That should become the new normal. That's where you'll see the biggest benefits, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to. But if you wanted to really see the biggest benefit, you replace all the yelling at him getting into things, having to chase him around, being annoyed by him with the lab. You replace all of that time and the cuddling. You replace all that time with a crate rotation schedule of crate, I don't know, hour and a half. I mean, at this point, he should probably be able to do 2 hours in crate, 2.5 hours, maybe even 3, because he's a large breed dog. Comes out, maybe not 15 minutes of training. We say 10 to 15 at his age, but maybe 5 minutes of training for food and uses kibble. Like, so it's very, he learns, that's how he earns his food. You can give him the rest later, but 5 minutes of that, 5 minutes of play, a few minutes in a sectioned off puppy proofed area. That could be 30 minutes. That could be an hour. And then another short little mini training session and then back in crate. That's kind of how I would do it as much as I could throughout the day. There's no freedom in running around or anything like that. That is how I would try to, in a nutshell, in a really fast, quick little nutshell, get back on track. And if you have time, we have an online school. And what I mean by time is if you can save yourself heartache and time in the future and do it now.
It's much easier now than it is in 6 months.
Just get on some sort of program, whether it's ours, which is really good, or somebody else's. Get on something. What have you got? Did I cover it all?
Covered everything.
I've been thinking about this.
You covered everything plus more.
I've been thinking about it because you've had me read it before. So I was already thinking about it.
To me, the biggest thing is look at your dog and see what they need. So if you're trying to play with the toy and they keep bypassing the toy to nip at your finger, try pulling out food. If they follow food for 10 minutes and and are just giving you great focus, amazing. When they stop looking for toy, they stop caring about food. That's when you existence. If they can't settle, they need crate time. Mm-hmm. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
Still a puppy.
So he's telling you to also be intuitive,
It's a good little short TikTok question.
What is it?
How many minutes of training should you do for a 4-month-old puppy?
10 to 15 minutes.
How many minutes of training for a 4-month-old puppy? You say 10 to 15 minutes.
I say 10 to 15.
I think it depends. I think some of these terrier breeds, if you have a Schnauzer.
Oh, you can do 30.
Some
40.
of these, sometimes the Dachshunds, it's a lot. Some of these hunting terrier type breeds, they could really go. And then sometimes a Malinois as well. There's just certain temperaments where you're the 4 months old and you're like, what did I get myself into? They're still reeling. They're still crazy focused after 10 to 15 minutes. If that's the case, I would jump it around a little bit. I would do 10 to 15. I would incorporate teaching them how to play, how to drop it. And then I might put them on a long lead and just do some recall in the backyard so they get more movement and they get to sniff around some. So I'm really tapping into different parts of what the dog needs as a whole.
But you're not giving breaks. It's
right.
Like
You're stacking.
Constant.
And I might do, if that's what we're dealing with, it might be 30 to 40 minutes twice a day, rather than our little staccato 10 minutes every 3 hours, 10 to 15 minutes every 3 hours. So you do have to play around with that for the breed. But like I just said with the woman over here, she's got a Mastiff mix that can't focus for 2 minutes. That will build over time, but they tend to be very aloof and very whatever. And so it might be 5 minutes 4 times a day, and you're building that up, of course. But it depends on the dog. And Schnauzer was the first thing. Every Schnauzer puppy I have worked with would work with me for 20, 30 minutes at 4 or 5 months old. It's insane. And they're not always the most social. At least not
Schnauzers?
Yeah, they're not always like, oh,
they're only social
play.
with each other usually.
Or they just want to check out my adult dogs to see how they can control scenarios. And so it's just different temperaments. And so you have to keep that in mind. Okay. Diana says, 14-week-old Bernedoodle sleeps 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in crate, but still won't go in crate without bribing with a treat. Any tips? Yes. A leash, no potty breaks at night. That's awesome. But yeah, you've got to stop putting yourself in a position where the dog tells you no. And so every time you are going to go into that bedroom, put your dog in crate, you're going to put the dog on a leash and you're going to use food. And if they probably won't follow food in the beginning, but you've got the leash. And so you can kind of do a little leash pressure. He's got a technique that we've done quite a few times. And I think the really hard one was like a Bernedoodle or an Aussie Doodle. And anyway, you keep that pressure on, the leash pressure, like in crate, and you wait till they go in house. You could say it once, you could drop food in there. But here's the thing. You can't just do that when you leave. You have to also just choose 5 minutes once or twice a day to do house, sit. If the dog knows sit, pause, let's go, turn around, house, and do it 10 times in a row. And they don't have to stay in there. It's just part of their training. So you're just training it as a command. You want to do your lift up, and she's going to encounter that.
One hand is on leash. You get them as close. So the off screen is going to be our crate door. So I take my arm, I hold the leash usually right above the harness, and I kind of guide them as close to the door of the crate as I can, which for a Schnauzer, any dog that's a bit more stubborn and feisty, means that they're literally back feet are kind of off the ground and they're just leaning on their front feet and just anchoring as hard as they can.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's no big deal. We're not going to shove them in there.
And they won't follow food.
I hold the pressure. Yeah, they're not following food. That's why this doesn't work for food stuff. Pressure. Hand goes under the bum, and I try to scoop the tail with my hand. Oh, Schnauzer, no tail. Ha!
Oh, this is a Bernedoodle.
Oh, Bernedoodle. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. You're going to kind of scoop that tail under their butt, lift up slightly, and you kind of just use the butt to steer them back in. So when I try to push in and they go left with the front of their body, I go left with the butt, which makes them kind of do this and have to straighten out. And eventually they are like, what the heck's going on? And they choose to voluntarily walk in, and then I just let them right back out.
With their
and do
front
it like 10
legs.
times.
With their front legs.
feet, yes. Back feet too, as well, after 3
After a
minutes of
few,
fuss.
after a few,
It
minutes.
just takes a little bit of time. Once you do that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, then I start giving food in the crate, because that's really what the hard part is. And I don't give food for the break to release them from crate, because that's the fun part. That's the part that
And that's the thing is that people think that they're doing something wrong because they're having to like force the dog. Well, sometimes you got to do a little bit of force. I think this is a good meet me halfway. Like the front legs walk in as I'm using the back leg, the bum to scoot in, because they don't have a choice. They can't go backwards. So they will eventually walk forwards. But anyway, this kind of in-between way of doing it is really helpful for the dog because they're still doing some work on their own. And they do this 2, 3, 4 times. And if they have even a little bit of food motivation, then they'll start to take food because you've gotten them over their mental block. I just did this technique with a dog. I was able to use guidance to get him to do open stairs. But there was this gap. It's kind of a scary gap. There was this gap between the stairs and the apartment building. And it was a scary gap. And so I could not just do pressure because I knew the dog would slide and that paw would go in there. Because it's a decent gap. So the dog needed confidence to do it. So what I did instead is I put my feet in the doorway and then I lifted the bum and I did exactly what you said until he made the choice to step forward. I did that twice, never had to do it again. The owner had to do it once. the next day. We did it right then and there, but then the next day put on the brakes again. So she didn't even try any other way, just did that. And what it does is it unlocks this mental barrier that they've built up in their mind. And then they're just like cool with it. And they're still anxious, but they're cool with actually doing it. And then 3 days later, they're not anxious about it anymore. If you use food, they might not be anxious about it the same day. And so anyway, hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of why that works. And if you wanted to stay patient forever and not do any of that, fine. Go to Vaughn's, go to Kroger, get a roast chicken, take the skin off, use the white meat so you don't get diarrhea, tiny, tiny pieces, and do some chicken. Just sit there and do some chicken training. Just skip a meal, just one meal. Dog will be fine. And do some chicken training. And you could do it that way too if you didn't want to do our way. I think our way is better for helping the dog through something hard mentally.
We're helping them troubleshoot. The other way is more of like kind of, it's like giving them an easier route.
Yes. And I think it's a good challenge that I can control, unlike outside where lots of challenges you can't control. It's a good bonding thing between the two of us that I help them get over rather than sitting on the ground and using a piece of chicken. But honestly, both of them are good scenarios. I just always, anytime a dog doesn't want to do something, I'm like, yes, how can I find a way to get them to do it with guidance that has to do with me, not just following a piece of food. I like those opportunities, but they can make some people uncomfortable or sometimes they don't work. So there's the food thing.
You have options.
You have options.
You have options. I got one. Nope, I'm reading that.
Okay.
Oh, this is good. Love y'all. How do I get a 15-week to listen the first time? He listens, but not always the first time.
It's 15 weeks old.
Yeah, and just use more food. I promise he gets better ahead. Oh, there's someone else. Okay.
Wait, you're done answering the question? That's all you're going to say?
That was all. No. There was a follow-up. They're talking to each other now. They're not talking to us. They're talking to each other. How do we get a 15-week to listen the first time? Listen isn't always the first time. You need food. So you need to find your leverage. So when I teach a dog sit, like I can give an example. I just taught a dog how to sit with leash pressure after already working with food and body language and verbal. So whatever I want to be first actually gets added first. So if you're just doing a very basic sit, you're just teaching the dog how to lower their butt, lift their head up, and do a sit command. I'm first going to take my treat. I'm going to glue it to their nose because I want focus on that food. I need to actually lure the head up to follow my hand so the butt to go down. If I'm doing verbal command, but I'm not using food, or I'm using food, but I'm going too fast, slow everything down. Leash in one hand, food in one hand, body in front of them. Short enough leash that there's not tension, but they can't run away every 2 seconds. And then I'm going to draw their attention to the food, slowly lift up my hand so it's almost pointing at their nose and going slightly above. When their head lifts to follow it, pause. If you keep going up, you'll lose the focus, head turns, dog's gone. You have to keep in the range that you need. Once the butt drops down, good, treat, short pause, and then release. But don't hold commands. Don't do stationary commands. Don't do sit, stay, stay, stay. It's sit, good food break. Sit, good food break.
Always a warm-up. Even if you've worked on stay, you don't do it right away. You
As
build
you
up
do
to
it longer and longer, you'll actually be able to build duration with that. You'll be able to sit, good, pause, treat, pause, release. So do fast-paced in the beginning. Slow it down as your puppy starts slowing themselves down. They're less jittery, less jumpy, less twitchy for the food. That's when you can start holding that sit for a little bit longer before giving the food, until eventually you're doing triple treats, helping them do more duration, and then releasing them.
I would just really watch your expectations of a 15-week-old. In dog training, we have a saying, and it goes for every age of dog, depending on the level of advancement that they've been taught, which is don't ever ask for anything that you can't enforce. And so if I let my puppy, who sometimes doesn't come back to me in the yard off leash, I'm not going to ask for a come unless I've already got a leash around my neck in case they don't listen. And I've already got my bait bag on me, my treat pouch on me. And so I can do the normal body language, the dog, come move back, and food is waiting for you, stuff we've practiced. And then if they don't listen to that because they're like, I don't have a leash on, I am going to calmly go out, pick them up, leash them up, bring them back. I'm not going to be mad at them about it. It's a my own
curve.
error.
Yeah, it's a learning curve.
And that goes for any age of dog. So just keep that in mind through this process. But at 15 weeks old, they're still very much in follower baby brain, you know, like a 1-year-old, they're moving around, but they don't really have much there unless you are right there with food, guidance, leash for backup. And so that just kind of goes for everything. And then I just wanted to follow up real quick. Marie says, I'm getting bad puppy blues. Anytime I hear that, it makes me think you are doing a program with a trainer that's a bit too soft for your dog, for you and your dog. And you need a program that is just a little bit more behavioral than maybe just easy food work with the puppy. And then if you're not on a program, if you have even just an online program, which can be, I mean, these days, online programs are very beneficial. We have one that's very in-depth. It goes over all your typical puppy classes, your sit down, stay, come, as well as your behavioral. It has a library of behavioral stuff as well, and you get to talk to us. So for me, anytime someone feels like that, I'm like, you're not on a schedule, you're not on a program, and if you are, it's a program that's too soft for your particular dog or for you and your dog's relationship. So that would be my advice, is to really look into something like that. And yeah.
And for Mari,
all right.
Mari mentioned that
that's the same one. I said Marie. Yeah.
Maybe it's Marie. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like potty train and
Mari,
crate train, but
yeah.
seems like after 4 days, he forgot everything.
That's normal for the
Super
age.
normal.
It's a baby.
4 to 6 months, 8 to 10 months, and 12 to 16 months are your 3 main adolescent stages. And I would say in one of those, they're going to forget that potty training doesn't exist. They're going to have a lot of issues with doing the training on one of them. And on the last one, they're probably going to start developing their adult dog personality and how they interact with dogs.
Yeah.
All of those stages of development are like
what happened?
nature's way of testing you to see if you're still doing all your obedience. So
and you have
training
to adapt.
doesn't end for months and months and months. It's a lifestyle, not a routine.
And you have to adapt. Most trainers are going to tell you need to make sure that you're involved in group classes or some sort of online program or some sort of community the first 2 years of your dog's life. There's some exceptions if you live on a farm. It's a little bit different. But if you live in the city, or any busy suburban area, 2 years, first 2 years. All right, guys, we got to go. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week, same time. Bye.
See ya. Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.